We're finding the absolute maximum and absolute minimum value of this function f of x to the third power minus 3x plus 2 over the interval from -2 to 3 over 2. So to find the absolute max and absolute min in a closed interval, we're going to start by finding the derivative. So take our f, find f prime of x. And this one, we just can use the power rule, right? So the first term gives us 3x squared and minus 3. Now what you're going to do is we're going to set this equal to 0 to find the critical value. So if I set this equal to 0, I think I'm going to be out of room. I'll do it down here, okay? Set it equal to 0 so we can find the critical value. I'll factor out that 3. Then I will have x squared minus 1. And I can see that this x squared minus 1 is the difference of perfect squares. So let's break that down into x plus 1 and x minus 1. So now I have two critical values. From those yellow parentheses. The critical values are x equals -1 and x equals +1. And here's what you're going to do. Remember the two endpoints they gave us, the left endpoint and the right endpoint? We're going to plug in all these values we have, these endpoints and the critical values into the function and see which one comes up with the biggest number and which one comes up with the smallest number, okay? So here's the setup. I want to find f of -2. See, that's the first endpoint, right? And I want to find f of 3 over 2. That's the right endpoint. But I also want to find f of -1 and f of +1. So I got 4 values to check out. Which one will give me the biggest number, right? So let me see. I'm going to bring my calculator up. Let's see. Here's the calculator. So what was the function? Let me just set up. I'll just set up one thing that I'm plugging into the calculator. I need to do -2 cubed minus 3 times -2 plus 2. You know what? I think it will be better if I write this down for everything in case, like, some students just look at the PDF instead of watching the whole video. And I'm going to be posting the PDF on Canvas. So I'm going to just set these all up so that if you're not watching the video, you still know how I'm getting these values. Okay? But that's what you're going to have to do. Just plug in all these important numbers and see which one wins with the biggest number and which one has the smallest number. So I'm going to go and use a calculator now. Give me 1 second. All right, let's see. So I start with the first one. -2 cubed minus 3 times -2 plus 2. So that's the first answer, and that's 0. I'm going to go to the next. I'm changing this to 3 over 2. Um, 0.875. But I know my lab homework, they're probably going to want the decimal fraction, right? So I'm going to convert it to a fraction. 7 over 8. 1 second. Okay, and then next line, I need to plug in -1. Four. Oh, I think we got a winner. That's pretty big, isn't it? But we don't know. We got to check the last one, remember? Let's check the last one, which was just +1. Last one is 0. Okay. So we're done with the calculator. I'm going to go back to my paper. So which number out of these 4 are the greatest? We're comparing 0, I think I'm going to use that number because it's easy to tell. So 4 is the greatest, right? So this is going to be the max. And which number is the smallest? 0 is the smallest, right? So this one and this one, they both have the smallest number of zeros, so they're both minimum. So let me write down the answers here. The absolute maximum value is 4. That's the highest this function will reach in this interval. And that happens at x value of -1. The absolute minimum value is 0. It's the smallest value I got, right? And that happened in 2 different places. So I'm going to say at x equals -2 and 1. That's how you can solve or find absolute max or absolute minimum in a closed interval.